Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. It's the blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media, signing black and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So look here. A single mom, I think her name was Grenway, if I'm not mistaken, decided to say something about a man that was not willing to pay for her daughter's Happy Meal on the first date. And a lot of women are saying, yeah, girl, you go. And a lot of men are saying, no, dude, you were right. And Mr. Fantastic pointed out that it really doesn't cost as much as the $40 that people are talking about it costs now to get some skins. As a Muslim, I'm not going to promote fornication, let alone tricking. So don't take this as an endorsement. What I'm pointing out is the catch-22 of the scenario in which this man found himself. And to BOA Book of Alpharonomy, shout out to both him and Mr. Fantastic. Book of Alpharonomy pointed out that what that lady said when she did the follow-up was, and that's when I decided he ain't gonna never get these cookies. That's pretty much her saying that's all she had to offer. And he said that man had every right to say to her, you feed your own damn kids. I'm already feeding you. Baby ain't mine. That ain't my responsibility. So you ain't fed the baby yet, but you was ready for this date. No. We men have to have these difficult standards. And I'm going to tell you why. See, this represents to us the dichotomy between taking advantage of the low price of the punani and raising our own standards. And I'm going to tell you why it's better for us to go ahead and raise our own standards. If you don't agree with my religious views against fornication in general and tricking, and mind you, I still say act very entitled when it comes down to marital sex. But nonetheless, if you don't agree with my religious and philosophical views against the fornication in general, including tricking, even though I do understand that even marital sex is transactional, understand this here. If you go out there trying to get them skins, they're going to lose respect for you no matter what. It doesn't matter at that point. See, she comes up and she says, well, I want to get this and you're going to cover this. That's not your responsibility. See, that's a crap test right there, and you're not going to pass, gentlemen. I mean, even if you do pass, one of the things she's never going to say, no matter who she is, Ms. Greenaway or any other single mom, is that you passed the crap test. See, that's one thing they never say. They'll admit that they crap test. The ones who do it may not admit that they're doing it, but they'll admit that women in general crap test men, but they never say you must pass it by doing this, and they never say you passed the crap test. They never do. And frankly, if they did say it, you got every right to say, oh, so you were testing me. Okay, well now, here's the deal. Either I get to test you too, or you fuck the shit, either I get to test you or we're done. You got that right. And what is the reason for it? Well, frankly, at the end of it all, if you don't respond in kind, then you're going to lose her respect, whatever she had for you in the beginning. And a lot of times they're trained nowadays in the West in such a way so as to find a reason to lose respect for you anyway. Because they're looking really to confirm their own biases. They're judging and sizing you up based on your resemblance to previous men. Pretty much sizing you up based on whichever man bears the closest resemblance to you. Whichever man from their past bears the closest resemblance to you. So, or based on how you fit into the stereotypes of the hive mind. It's worked against me in many cases. It's worked against Jay Cash, worked against Jay Born Sinner. This has happened. It can work for and against you too. Most of the time it will work against you because it's not the nature of men, it's the nature of the ladies. Now put yourself in that situation, gentlemen, and understand that it was a catch-22 from the very beginning. It was never a situation in which you could simply pay for a Happy Meal and then get them guts and the respect. You couldn't get either one. It was never on the table. You sit up and you say, yeah, okay, yeah, I got that. That's not a no, no, no. That's not the right answer. Now you done failed because not only are you a simp, she know you a simp. You gonna wind up friend zone for the guy that don't do that. This guy said no. Then she decided, well, she was mad about it. So she decided to say that he wasn't going to get none. She decided at that point that he was never going to get none. But in actuality, she made that decision a lot. She made that decision before she even asked him that question. You going to pick up this Happy Meal? When they ask you dumb stuff like this and you got to stop and think about what's the right move, they done already set it up to where everything's the wrong move. Every answer, they put you on that fork in the road. Well, both of them are the wrong answer. They just didn't tell you that. That's a setup right there. You were wrong no matter what. They were just setting this up so that they could then explain this and still blame you. That's all that was. Nothing else. So, Mr. Fantastic, you're right that it's not really that expensive. However, that man did not have the opportunity that she acts like he had because she's still operating on the old pre-manosphere mindset that he's stupid. And he talked or did or said or decided himself out them drawers. Man, she's operating on that. But see, in actuality, so we already know what's really going on. We know what's really what's really happening. What's really happening is she wasn't going to give him none, no way. That's all that was. Now she just set up a situation for it. I myself have gotten so used to that from my youth that I can recognize these situations. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, it's hard to believe, but the truth be told, and this is true. Every woman her shade is not going to play that same game, but the paler a black woman is, the more likely they are to play that game. The paler the man is, the more likely the woman is to play that game. That's the truth of the matter. I know that from experience. See, somewhere down the line, there was some man that got in them drawers and didn't have to buy nothing for another man's kids. That's the father. He knows it and she knows it. And if he forgets it, she still knows it and she's going to lose respect for that man. She's not going to say, well, maybe he didn't have time to think about all that. He had to make a split-second decision because I asked him the question. She's not even going to think that because that's not how she's trained. That's not the Western wicked witch of the West socialization. She's trained to look for reasons to eliminate him. And you know what? You're right. She still has her looks together. That's just going to add even more fuel to that particular fire. She's been trained and socialized from a young age to eliminate men. She ain't had nothing to incentivize her to stop eliminating men at this point. But she told on herself she got nothing off her but them drawers, nothing else. And that's why she sat up on that radio show and said, that's when I decided he wasn't going to never get this. No, gentlemen, they're coming with catch-22s from the very beginning. They'll do that even if they have an interest in you because they're just trained to eliminate you. Remember, I mean, it's like I said before, and the base Pluto pointed this out once. I think it was in a drawing, actually, or a meme. And I don't think he made the meme or the drawing, but I remember seeing it referred to on his channel or on his Twitter page, one of the two. I'm going to tell y'all what it was. It was a picture of a so-called Chad with the muscles. And it said, it had the caption over it, Chad 2020. And they showed the same guy, but just more cut, more muscles, Chad 2030. This is what self-improvement gets you. And I kid you not. That's what it said. And of course, it said a lot to me. I mean, it reminded me of what I'd forgotten. But that's actually very, very, very much so true. If you follow that route, then all that's going to happen is that you're just going to see a rise in the quality of the 7 to 13% that are not going to be eliminated. That's all it is. You see, the grading is still done on a curve. And we have to remember that. That's not going to end. It's not going to stop. It's never going to change. The grading's still being done on a curve. It's sort of like the old pre-med classes at these HBCUs. I don't know how it was at the PUIs, but at the HBCUs, the pre or the science courses, and then at the black med schools, everything was graded on the curve. The professors would look and they would tell students on the first day, 50% of you ain't gonna pass, because they needed to eliminate 50%. Yeah, it was about elimination even back then. I remember my father telling me about this. And so it's the same thing in the West with them, white or black. It's about an elimination. You're being graded on the curve. You can improve yourself. Just understand that what's going to happen in the end is you're simply going, by doing so and by more men improving themselves, it's not going to change the outcomes with Western women. They're just going to continue eliminating the same percentage. That's only going to change when they get older and hit the wall. That's it. The only thing that's, it's like Mrs. I think it was Danielle that said it, Danielle George, I think. As she said, the only thing that's going to change these outcomes is when black men start leaving. That's it. The way that they feel is that they're spoiled for choice. And BGS, and of course, BGS had to tell her that, well, that's already begun. That's what a lot of this is about. And I don't remember which live stream it's on, but I mean, she said that. She said it openly. I'm never going to forget that, because she was speaking for black women in America. They ain't gonna change until black men start leaving. So that tells you right there. Until that day, they ain't gonna change. And it's the same thing with the Westerns. Even the white Western women have not changed yet as a whole. The discussion somewhat changed, but they have not yet fully changed. They're still in that stage wherein they just start to condemn the men that go to Southeast Asia and say, well, you're just looking to control somebody. When in fact, what's really happening is they're driving these men off. And I know because one white woman I saw on Facebook saying this, well, she was a land well big as a house, and it turned out she was with a Southeast Asian man. I know, right? She was taller and wider than this man. So in any case, it was a catch-22 from jump. That's all it was. Gentlemen, when you find yourselves in these situations, don't start. You find yourselves in cases like this, don't start looking for the right answer. Just realize it was set up. It was a setup from jump. Passports, gentlemen. Options. Thanks for listening. Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout, Assalamu Alaikum, and Black Heterosexual Non-Select Male Power, just because they don't like it, and Black Patriarch until extinction or Judgment Day.